So now that you're logged in, let's walk through on how to place an order. So the first thing you're going to see on the order page is a list of bundles. So we try to give you a good variety here so you can best match what each specific listing needs and what you need to promote your brand for each listing. And so there's a lot of options on the order page. A lot of our clients, the standard kind of starts off with WOW Essentials, which is the HDR photography and the cinematic walkthrough video, and then kind of build onto that. But on each of these bundle cards at the bottom, you can see view more. And here you can see the full description. And as you scroll down, you can see exactly what services are included in each bundle. So once you select the preferred bundle, go ahead and click select. This next page is where we're going to ask for a little bit of listing information, and that's going to help us just best get together everything that's vital for that appointment to determine how long it's going to take and which of our team members are best suited to capture that specific listing and that size and everything else on that side too. So we're going to start off by just asking for the address. In most cases, as you begin to type in the address, you'll see the address populate, and this is based on Google Maps down here. But as long as you see your address in this suggestions, go ahead and click it. If for some reason you don't see the address populate, that typically means maybe it's a newer subdivision or a new build area. In that case, go ahead and click need help. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the closest crossroad. I'm going to use our office here as an example. And then you can actually type in the full listing address. And then you could also enter any other landmarks. But down below, you're going to see the map populate here. So it's going to put a pin mark on that closest cross street. And if I hold down control, I can actually use the scroll wheel to kind of back out of that. So we're here, and this is the address that we're intending to capture. So what you can actually do is just drag this marker to the location of the house. And once you're happy with where that's at, go ahead and click use address. And this, going back to this first screen, it's going to ask us a little bit more information. First of all, unit number, if there is one, go ahead and enter that in there. This one you might not use all the time, but it's a good thing to know. So by default, we check mark, use the address as the media title. If for some reason you want something else to show, say on the cinematic walkthrough video or on the single property website, go ahead and uncheck that, and you can put whatever the custom title you would like in there. A lot of times that's used by builders that have a specific model name or something along those lines, but that is an option in the system here for you. And then the rest of the information, we're going to capture what's the listing price, what's the above ground square footage, is it vacant or occupied, and then we do ask, is there a basement and do you want us to shoot it? There's no extra cost for that for any of the standard media for photos, video, anything like that, but it does dictate how much time that appointment's going to take. And we always ask because the basement and also the next question is the garage are typically the ones that may be a catch-all or may not be in the best condition. So we'll gladly capture those on any of the media, but we do ask you to tell us if that's included and if you'd want that as part of the listing. So in this example, I'll say do not shoot basement and yes, shoot garage. Down below, we also have an option for attachments. This comes in really handy if you're doing any kind of land or large lots or something along those lines. This is a perfect opportunity to click and you can add the plat map or anything else that's relevant to that listing. But once you're done, you'll see the option over here to click next. That will go to the next screen. If for some reason that is not able to be clicked, that means there's something over here that was not filled out. So if I go back and I remove that list price, you can see that option goes dark. So I'm going to put that back in, and then we're free to click next to the next screen. This next screen is going to go through any of the additional services. So we have a lot of services out there to really get you what you need for each individual listing. So here you can scroll through and you can select anything that may be relevant. If you have a home that has good acreage or it's a little bit more private than all the other lots in the subdivision, there's no rear neighbors, something like that. That might be a sign like, hey, Ariel's going to be a really good seller on this because it's going to actually present that well in the listing. So just go through here and select any add-ons that are going to make that listing that much better and that much easier to market. And once you're done selecting exactly what you need here, same thing goes over to the side where you can click next to move to the next screen. This next screen, we're going to ask for agent information. So the nice thing is if you're logging into an existing account, then this is going to automatically pre-fill for you, so you don't have to enter any info. If it is your first time placing an order, we're going to ask for name, phone number, company, email address, and then that will automatically populate going forward as well. You do have the option down below to uncheck if you don't want to get text message updates about the order. But probably the most important things down below are the appointment communication management. So we give you the ability to add a homeowner or property manager. And when you click that, we're going to ask for a name and phone number. So what this means is that we're going to text a link and updates to whoever you add onto this. So this is great for your homeowners or anything along those lines. They don't get any order emails, they don't get pricing, they don't get any of that information, but it keeps them up to date on the status of the appointment. So that is a great tool to just make part of your process. If you have a homeowner, if it's not a vacant property, go ahead and add them in here because it's going to make their experience a little bit better. Lets them know who's coming, how long it's going to take, and kind of just gives them that peace of mind. But it also links to our getting ready guide. So it gives them a checklist to go through before the appointment to make sure that that listing is in the best shape possible to where we can go in and we can deliver the best media possible for you. So you can enter a homeowner, and then the other option is a co-agent team member. I think this is a great one too. So if you have your co-listing, or you have a team member that you want to keep involved or keep up to date throughout the entire process of this order, you can enter their first name, last name, email, and phone number, and same thing for them. We can send them text messages about that order or not. But you do have an option up here as well to where you can actually redirect all of the order communications from you to this person. So that's a great tool if you have a case that calls for it. Just know that that's there, and it makes it really easy to move forward. After you select those, you'll be able to select next and move on to the next screen. This is our questions page. So we're going to ask any information that's relevant to that listing. The one that you'll always see is this appointment info and filming instructions. So this is your opportunity to tell us anything about that listing that is going to make the appointment that much better when we get there. So if there's anything that you want us to focus on outside of the normal things, our team's very trained to know to go into a home and kind of understand what the selling features are, things along those lines. But I know there's a lot of circumstances out there where maybe the seller just did a custom remodel, or they just did a brand new backsplash themselves, and they're very proud of it, and you want to highlight that in the media. Tell us about it in here. If there's anything to know about the property, if there's going to be pets there that are going to be, we do ask that pets are kept behind, locked doors and just to make everybody safe during the appointment. But it's still good to know that, hey, there's going to be a pet in the downstairs, the basement bedroom or something along those lines. So this is an open dialogue box. Tell us anything that you think is going to be something that we should know to make that appointment that much smoother. And then also you'll see other questions dependent on what you selected as your bundle and your add-ons. So if there's any product specific questions, for example, if you click virtual staging, we're going to ask you what style that you'd like, how many images you'd like to have staged, things along those lines. So once you're done with that, go ahead and click next. And this is where we ask you about the entry method. So how are we going to get into the listing? And a lot of times it's agents available, you're going to meet us there, or it's not a vacant property, it's occupied, the owner's going to be there to let us in. So you can select those, or if there's any appropriate lockbox, Sentry, Lock, Supra, anything like that, just select the best way for us to gain access. If you do select alphanumeric code, we'll ask you here to the right for that code. So you have a spot to put that as well. And then you have an option down here for any additional information. This is a great spot to tell us, hey, the lockbox code is this, and then in this spot you could say the lockbox is on the back door or wherever the location is if it's not obvious. So that will just help us keep everything running smoothly the day of the appointment for you. But once you select that, down below, you have the option to select a photographer. I always recommend to just keep the default first available photographer on. That's going to maximize your availability as far as what appointments are available, and it chooses from our entire team. Our system and our team knows you selected certain services and we have certain people that can do them. So that's already done behind the scenes. But that first available photographer is going to keep maximum availability open there for you. But down below, you'll see 3 suggestions. You can select one of those suggestions for upcoming appointments, or if you click see more, you'll see a calendar view to where you can go out maybe further into the future or a certain day. And you can select any day that's going to work out for you. This is a great thing with the system because you can be sitting in a listing presentation, get the go ahead, and you can actually book the appointment the day that you're sitting with them. So it makes it very easy. You don't have to go back and forth with the seller to try to coordinate later. You can take advantage of that time right there. But once you select a day, you'll see any available times that pop up. Go ahead and select the one that's most appropriate for what you need and select next. And then this final page is just going to be a confirmation page. So it's going to go over everything that you did. Every page kind of has its own section. You can expand any of them and see all the details. You also get a rundown here on the right. A couple things to note over here on the right is that you do have a running total. So it'll tell you exactly what the price is as you select additional add-ons and things like that. We do have the option to pay at close. So if you want more information on that, you can actually click the information and you can see a little bit more details about that process as well. So that's kind of a nice way to align your cost with your income. And then down below this, you have the option to add a coupon or referral code. You can go ahead and enter that in, click apply, and then we'll have you agree to the terms and conditions. As always, you can click on that and you can see a full rundown of the terms and conditions there. If you have any questions on that, just let us know. We'll be glad to walk through that with you. But once you select agree, you just simply click submit order, and that order is officially confirmed at that point. It's on the schedule, and we'll send you a confirmation shortly after.